Hi friends, welcome to Azure Content. This is part 38 in Mapping Data Flow Scenarios playlist. In this video, we are going to learn how to find the position of nth occurrence of any character in a string using Mapping Data Flow. So let's see the requirement in details. So this is our requirement. This is the input data where we have a column called data column, and the content within this column is this string called Microsoft is good. So here, if you see, the character O is having four occurrences. The first occurrence is at position 5. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first O comes in the fifth position because in data flow the index position starts with 1. So we are not calculating the first index as 0, rather it will be 1. So the first O will be in the fifth position. The second O is in seventh position. So first one is 5, then 7, and then the next occurrence of letter O is this one. So let's calculate what is the index of that. So you can see this was 7 and 8, 9, then there is a space 10, 11, 12, then there is again another space. So that will be 13. Then G comes at 14. So the next O is at 15, and again simultaneously there is another O which will come at 16th position. So in total the four positions of the letter O is 5, 7, 15, and 16. So we need to fetch out all the occurrences of letter O in this string Microsoft is good. Okay, and our output should look like this. You can see first occurrence is 5, second is 7, third is 15, and fourth is 16. So these are the four occurrences of the substring O in this string. Okay, so let's try to jump on to the demo part. Let me try to navigate to Azure portal. So before creating the data flow, let me show you the source data. So this is our CSV file where the data resides. So you can see the column name is data, and this is the string which we just talked about. Microsoft is good. Okay, so let me go to the data flow. I have already turned this data flow debug option as on so that we can preview the data during the creation of the data flow. So let me add the source here and let me add the data set. Let me create a new data set pointing to storage account, that is ADLS Gen 2, and our data type is CSV, and I already have a linked service for ADLS Gen 2, and this is the container within which we have the CSV file. So let me point to that and let the import schema be on. And now let me go to data preview and let's try to view the data. So let's wait until the data is fetched. So you can see this is the source data. Now we have to get all the occurrences of the character O in this string. So for that I am going to add a derive column transformation, and here I will select the same column, that is data column, and in the expression we have to write an expression to get the index of the character O. So to get the index, what we will do is we have something called locate function which acts similar to substring function in SQL. So here in the first parameter, we need to provide the substring or the character for which we need the index to be fetched, and then from which string we need the index of this substring. So that string needs to be passed in the second parameter. And then the third parameter is optional. Here we need to provide an index which will be considered as the starting position to fetch the index of the substring. Since this is optional, if we don't provide anything, then the first position of the string will be considered as the starting position. So if you see the examples here, let's see the second example. So you can see locate O in Microsoft. So you can see the first occurrence of O is at fifth position, but we are providing the starting position as 6. So after the sixth character, it will try to find the occurrence of O and it will give the index of that particular occurrence. Okay, so that's why the output is 7, which is the index of character O after sixth position. Okay, so we will be using the locate function, and here the first thing that we need to give is substring that we need to find. So let me give O in single quotes and then the string from which we need to find this substring position. Okay, so what is that string? it is nothing but the column data. So we are providing the column name data here. And then the third parameter, which is the starting position, is optional. So let's try to refresh the data and see if it gives the first occurrence of character O or not. So we are expecting it will give 5 as the output. So let's wait. So you can see it has given 5 as the output, which is the first occurrence of letter O, because we have not provided anything in the third parameter, which is the starting position. So if we give anything beyond 5, so suppose if we give 6, then it will try to fetch the next occurrence after sixth position, whatever is the occurrence of O. So the first occurrence it will try to find after this sixth position. Okay, so now in this case, if we provide 6, then it will be giving the index position of this O letter. Okay, so if we refresh, we are expecting that it will give the output as 7. So let's try. So you can see it has given 7. So now to get the index position of next occurrence of letter O, we need to provide something which is greater than 7. So if we provide 8, then we are expecting it will give 15 as the output, which is the index position of next O. So let's wait. So you can see it has given 15 as the output. And again, the next position, if we try to find it, then we have to give something which is greater than the previous occurrence. So we are giving 16. So now, so let's wait. So you can see it has given 16 as the output, which is the immediate next position for the last occurrence. Okay. So instead of hard coding this value, which is the starting position to find the index, instead of hard coding it, what we need to do is we need to write such a logic so that it gets the index of previous occurrence of the character, and then we just need to add 1 to it so that it will determine the starting position. So instead of 16, let me remove it, and let me do one thing. Let me try to add a new column. Say this column is the first occurrence, which is just the basic one. Here we are not going to give any starting position. So we are trying to find the index of O in data column. So this will determine the first occurrence, as we have already seen. So this should give 5 as the output. Okay. So it gave 5 as the output. Now for second position, let me add another column, say second. Okay. And here we need to give the starting position as the index of first occurrence plus 1. Okay, so here let me copy the whole thing. This will give 5 as the output, and here I will write the same expression and then I will add 1 to it. So this will give 5, and additionally we are adding 1, and this will ultimately result in 6. So here this is the whole expression, but instead of hard coding it, we are trying to write the expression here. Okay. So now after sixth position, wherever O will be coming in this string, it will try to determine the index of that O. Okay. So if I try to refresh it, it will give 7 as the output, because after sixth position it's coming immediately next, which is the seventh index. Okay, so similarly I'm copying this and I'm going to create a new column for third occurrence, and here let me paste it. So this will give the output as 7, as you have already seen, and the same will be passed as the third parameter in the expression. So let me give enter here, and in the top let me write the same expression again. O in the data column, let me select the column from here. So instead of string, let me select data. And for the third parameter, I'm going to pass the whole expression. And then I'm just going to add 1 here. So now let's wait. So you can see it has given 15. And now to determine the fourth column, let me add a new column, which is fourth, for fourth occurrence. We will be passing 15 as the starting position. So let me write locate O in data column. Let me search for this. Yeah. And then let me remove the whole thing and let me pass this expression here. Okay. And then we will be adding 1 to it. So now if we hit on refresh, let's wait. Yeah, so it has given 16 as the output. So basically, to determine the position of nth occurrence, we are relying on the position of n minus 1th occurrence of a character. Because in dataflow, we don't have any option to directly find the nth occurrence, which means if we want to find the index of 4th occurrence of letter O, we have to rely on the third occurrence. We cannot directly find the index of 4th occurrence. Okay, so this is basically a cascading approach where we have to rely on the output of the previous expression. Okay, so now if I hit on save and finish, and now let's go to data preview and let's try to see the data here. Yeah, so the output is appearing now. You can see it has fetched all the occurrences of character O in this particular string. But if you see the expression, it is very hectic to write this long expression in order to determine the index of nth occurrence of any character. So instead of writing this kind of long expression, what we will do is, let me go again and let me remove all the columns. Let me hit on delete. And what we will do is, let me go to expression, and here we have something called locals. So let me go here. Using locals, we can basically create a local variable where we can write some expression, and that expression can be used within multiple columns in the same derived column transformation, but it cannot be used in another transformation. So that's why it is called local variable. Okay, so let me create a new local and let me term it as first. Okay, and here we will write the original expression, which is locate O in the string, this data column, and we don't need the third parameter here to determine the first occurrence. Okay, so once we create this local variable, we can use this variable to write the expression for the next variable. Okay, so let me create this first. So you can see first local variable is created. Now we can create the same for second, and here we don't need to write the whole expression. We will write the same expression, which is local O then data, and here for the third parameter, which will determine the starting position, instead of writing hard-coded value or instead of writing a long expression, we can use this local variable which we just created. So this will give us the index of first occurrence, and we just need to add 1 to it so that it will be acting as the starting position. So let me copy this, and our second local variable is also created. Now same thing for the third local variable, and instead of first local variable here, we will select the second one and we are just adding 1 to it, and this will create the third variable. Okay, and then same thing for determining fourth occurrence. We will, instead of first or second, we will write third, and it will add 1 to it, and then it will give the occurrence of fourth O character. Okay, so we have created 4 local variables. Let me hit on save and finish, and now we will create 4 columns. First, to determine the 4 occurrences, second, third, and then fourth. But now instead of writing any expression, we are just going to select the local variable. Okay, so first for first occurrence, then second local variable, let me go here and then select it. We just need to select each of the local variables. Okay, then third, and then the fourth one. So that's it. And now if we go to data preview, we will be expecting the same output, but this time we have not written any long expression. So you can see the same output is appearing 5, 7, 15, and 16. But this time we have not written any long expressions. We have just created local variables where one local variable is depending on the output of the previous local variable. Okay. So in this way, you can determine the position of any nth occurrence of any character in the string. But for that, instead of writing the whole expression, if we rely on the local variables, the job will be much more easier. Okay. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you find the video helpful. Please hit on like button and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Thank you.